He is the best hitter I ever saw.
Tony Gwynn was as pure a hitter as ever played in my era.
Tony could do almost anything with the bat that was humanly and unhumanly possible.
This guy's never stopped working, and you see that desire and that passion to be, one of the greatest hitters of all time.
A man who studies films constantly to make that swing even better.
Gwynn waiting to pitch. There's a drive, right center field, base hit, and there it is! Ho-ho, doctor! You can hang a star on that, baby! A star for the ages for Tony Gwynn, number 3000.
He arrived in San Diego in 1977, a quiet freshman from Long Beach with a wide smile and bigger dreams. What the city didn't know then was that this young man would never truly leave. Tony Gwynn didn't just play for San Diego, he became San Diego. And when he passed away far too early at the age of 54, it wasn't just a baseball icon the world lost. It was a symbol of grace, dedication, and soul. Anthony Keith Gwynn was born on May 9, 1960, in Los Angeles, California. His father, Charles, worked in a warehouse and coached youth baseball. His mother, Vandella, was a postal worker, tough, driven, and supportive. Tony was the middle child, sandwiched between Charles Jr. and Chris. The family later moved to Long Beach, where the brothers played baseball in their backyard. Despite the baseball games, it was basketball that initially captured Tony's heart. At Long Beach Polytechnic High School, he was a dual sports star, but the school's struggling baseball program nearly pushed him to give up the sport altogether. It was his mother who urged him to stay the course. "You never know what could come from it," she told him. She was right. Tony earned a scholarship to San Diego State University, where he became a standout point guard. He still holds school records in assists and finished his college basketball career with over 900 points. Baseball remained an afterthought until fate intervened. After two outfielders on the SDSU baseball team were injured in a biking accident, Tony was asked to join. He'd only intended to fill in. Instead, he began rewriting the story of his life. By the end of his college career, he'd earned all-conference honors in both sports and batted .416 his senior year. In 1981, he was drafted twice, by the San Diego Clippers in the 10th round of the NBA draft, and by the San Diego Padres in the 3rd round of the MLB draft. He chose the Padres, and with that, San Diego chose him. Tony married his childhood sweetheart, Alicia, shortly after the draft. He tore through the minor leagues, hitting .462 in AA and .328 in AAA, before making his MLB debut on July 19, 1982. He went 2 for 4 in his first game and collected his first RBI. Incredibly, his rookie season, where he batted .289, was the only one in his entire 20-year career where he failed to hit above .300. That alone should tell you the kind of hitter Tony Gwynn was. By 1984, Gwynn's prime had arrived. He batted .351, led the league in hits, and struck out just 23 times in 675 plate appearances. That's 3.4%, numbers that defy modern comprehension. He made his first All-Star game, won his first Silver Slugger, and led the Padres to their first ever World Series appearance. Though they lost in 5 games to the Detroit Tigers, Gwynn had arrived, not just as a great player, but as a generational one. He never chased the home run. He didn't need to. Gwynn redefined what it meant to dominate at the plate, sculpting each at-bat like a painter with a canvas. He once said, "I'm a natural hitter, but I have to work hard to keep it." And work he did. He became known as Captain Video for obsessively watching VHS tapes of pitchers and his own at-bats. Long before analytics became the norm, Gwynn was studying spin rates, pitch sequences, and swing mechanics in his hotel rooms. His batting averages read like fiction: 370 in 1987, 394 in 1994, 8 batting titles, a career average of 338. He struck out just 434 times in 9,288 at-bats, which is less than 5% of his at-bats, fewer than some modern players strike out in 3 seasons. And while many fans remember the beautiful swing, the whisper quiet feet, the surgical control of the bat barrel, those who knew him remember something else even more: humility. Gwynn never gave his shoes to clubhouse attendants to shine. His father had visited early in his career and was stunned to see kids polishing players' cleats. "They're your shoes, son. You shine them," Charles told him. Tony never let anyone touch his shoes again. There was a joy about him that was unmistakable. That laugh, raspy, genuine, full-bodied, came from deep in the chest and shook the room. And he treated everyone with the same warmth, whether you were a superstar or a stadium janitor. Sports writers couldn't stump him, not even with questions about tax policy or Barry Bonds' Hall of Fame case. He always had a story, always had time. In 1994, Gwynn flirted with history. By the All-Star break, he was batting .383. Over his final 28 games, he hit .423. He finished the strike-shortened season at 394, just 6 points shy of becoming the first player since Ted Williams to hit .400. Many believe he would have done it had the season continued, but Gwynn took the high road. "Getting an agreement is more important than hitting .400, he said. That was Tony, always placing the game and others above himself. He would finish his career with 15 All-Star appearances, 7 Silver Sluggers, and 5 Gold Gloves. He helped lead the Padres back to the World Series in 1998, this time hitting .500 in the series. Even then, his focus was never on himself. But injuries mounted in the later years. Still, he never stopped hitting. In 1999, he notched his 3,000th hit on his mother's birthday, just as he had his 2,000th years earlier. By the time he retired in 2001, he had batted over .300 in 19 consecutive seasons, finished with 3,141 hits, and posted a .338 average, the highest of any player since 1960. Retirement didn't slow him down. He became the head coach at San Diego State, mentoring young athletes with the same fire he once brought to the plate. Among his most notable protégés was Stephen Strasburg. "I wanted to be just like Tony Gwynn," Strasburg said. "He made it okay to be humble and great, but behind the ever-present smile, Gwynn faced a deadly battle. Years of chewing tobacco caught up with him. Diagnosed with salivary gland cancer, he underwent multiple surgeries, radiation, and chemotherapy. The treatments left his face partially paralyzed. He could no longer smile the way he used to. But he never complained. He never let it define him. In the final months, his players would call him after wins. Even when he was too weak to walk, he would answer. You couldn't separate Tony from his players, Alicia would later say. He loved them too much. On June 16, 2014, Tony Gwynn passed away. The city mourned. Over 23,000 people packed Petco Park for his memorial. Vin Scully, the legendary Dodgers broadcaster, said it best. There are those rare ones who will smile, and it will just stay in the air and make you feel better. That was Tony Gwynn. They called him Mr. Padre, a name he never fully embraced because he didn't need titles. His impact wasn't just measured in batting averages or trophies. It was in the young fan he surprised with memorabilia, the teammate he mentored, the journalists he shared stories with, the game he elevated. Tony Gwynn wasn't just one of the greatest hitters of all time. He was one of the greatest humans the sport has ever known. His legacy is immortal not because of the 3,141 hits or the 394 near miss, but because of the way he lived, because of the way he made people feel, because he reminded us that you can be excellent and still be kind. That greatness doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes it just smiles, picks up a bat, and does its job better than anyone ever has. And that's Tony Gwynn, forever a maestro on the field and a masterpiece off it.
Now, I just want all you fans out there to know, coming from me, no script, no nothing. This is from the heart. It has been absolutely wonderful playing Major League Baseball for the last 20 years. Having the opportunity to mingle and talk to you fans, I know I've enjoyed it. I hope you have too. And so with that, I say goodbye and thank you.